I'd like to read you something that absolutely sent a chill up my spine. I don't know whether it was my reaction to it, whether anyone else will react this way or what, but I thought that this was worth bringing to people's attention. This is an article from Valley News Dispatch in Trenton, PA. I found it on Firehouse Magazine's website, and it deals with September 11th, 2001. The article was these firefighters from Eureka Fire Rescue went to New York to help out at Ground Zero, 7 firefighters. As they got into their work in helping the recovery effort at Ground Zero on September 12th, 2001, they noticed something. Not far from where they were was a New York Fire Department engine parked and running. Engine 235 was sitting there pumping for quite a while and nobody was around it, said Eureka Chief Rich Hauser. He said Eureka firefighter Tim James kept an eye on the engine, making sure that it was refueled and running properly, but there was still no crew around it. There were still personal belongings and stuff in the engine. During the collapse of the World Trade Center and surrounding buildings, 343 firefighters and paramedics, the core of the city's fire department, were killed while they were in the Twin Towers saving lives, Hauser said. Hauser said as time went by, Eureka crew feared that the crew of Engine Company 235 was among them. It turns out the whole crew was taken out. They were lost, Hauser said. Those guys knew going in there that there was a better than even chance they weren't going to get out, he said. An FDNY assistant chief came by, saw the engine, and told Eureka crew that the department officials thought it had been buried under the rubble. He left the engine in their care and they continued operating it. On Saturday, as the Eureka crew was preparing to leave, they started cleaning engine 235 to return it to the department. As they were busy doing that, Hauser said, FD firefighters approached as they changed shifts. They would march in and march out at the change of rotations, and some of them were coming by as we were cleaning engine 235. It was pretty emotional, he continued, his eyes watering at the memory. Captain Len Wolf said there were few words spoken. Some salutes were given by the New York firemen while others nodded their appreciation. They were very respectful and very appreciative that we were there and were cleaning this engine, Hauser said. As he talked about those events, he mentioned the upcoming 9/11 observance and memorials being built and wondered if something might be lost in all that. Monuments and stuff are good, but that's not what it's about, Hauser said. You have to remember the people. The best thing we can do is what we're doing now, sitting here and talking about them and telling young people about them so they are not forgotten. The Eureka firefighters later looked up Engine Company 235 on the internet and found that it was part of FDNY's Battalion 57 from the Bedford-Stuyvesant section of Brooklyn. It turns out the 5 Engine 235 crew members who died in 9/11 entered the South Tower shortly after the second hijacked airliner crashed into it at 9:03 a.m. They were Lieutenant Stephen Bates, 42, a big man remembered as team player, Nicholas Schilfano, 31, who was engaged to be married, Francis Exposito, 32, who loved his wife and his Harley, Lee Faring, 28, whose wife and 4-year-old daughter were left with the memories of his laughter, and Lawrence Vealing, 44, admired by his fellow firefighter's wife and 3 young children. I don't know, this just really hit me when I read this about the Phantom fire engine that was still pumping after its crew was gone.